The language debate is back in focus with two superstars now locking horns. Remember, it all started with Kannada superstar Kichcha Sudeep speaking to India Today's Karnataka Tak and saying that Hindi is not the national language, something that prompted a response from Bollywood actor superstar Ajay Devgn. I want to take this across now to renowned playback singer and composer Srinivas, who's joining us on this broadcast. Thank you, sir, for talking to us here on India Today. Mr. Srinivas, I just want to read out the tweet that you put out yesterday. To Ajay Devgn's tweet in Hindi, you've said, "Sir, Hindi is our national language, like you are the Prime Minister of India." I'm sure everyone has figured what exactly you have to say about this, but just break down for us, what was the thought that came through you when you saw Ajay Devgn's tweet there in Hindi saying, "Hindi is our national language, हमारा राष्ट्र भाषा है."
हमारा राष्ट्र भाषा है रहेगा, all that he said, and then he also said Janagana Mana. So look at the irony of it. Janagana Mana is, I think it's in Bengali.
Yeah.
Am I right? So there it goes, and so he is. We can talk of facts, or we can talk about the absolute truth. Let's not talk about the absolute truth and all that here. This is not the place for that. But when you talk of facts, we have accepted the Constitution. And these have been laid down by our founding fathers who've really thought about it. And Hindi is just one of the official languages, along with so many other languages like Tamil, Kannada, Malayalam, and everything else. And there is a reason why this has been done. Hindi, of course, I love Hindi songs. I'm a huge Kishore Kumar fan. Kishore Kumar, Mohammad Rafi, they all taught me Hindi. That's me. But go down to a shopkeeper in Tanjore and try to speak to him in Hindi. He won't understand the language. Why do you want to force Hindi upon somebody? So don't say it's a national language just because it's like a frog in the well statement from Mr. Devgan. I'm sorry to say. It is not based on facts. Anything that's based on facts, we'll accept. But this is not based on a fact.
Yeah.
Let's talk facts.
You've sung in so many languages, Hindi also. You've sung in Tamil, in Kannada, in Hindi, to name a few. So for anyone who says and asks, is there a hatred for Hindi? Is that where this entire controversy stems from? What's your response to that?
I don't think, see, again, the biggest language of communication is not Hindi, English, Tamil, or anything else. The greatest language of communication amongst human beings is love and compassion. So there's no scope for hatred here, but then hate it happens. It happens. People just get, they overreact to all this. Mr. Devgan also has overreacted to this. So there is also an element of, hate in that. So hate begets hate. So which is why I think you have to cool down tempers and speak like normal people, normal human beings. That's all. And why are we talking in English today? 200 years we've been ruled by the English. And today, India is ahead of so many other places, so many other countries, because most of us, many of us educated people speak English. And English is the lingua franca of the world. You can go to Paris also, and you can still get away with English or anything else. So I would say, and every scientific document, science is truth. I was talking about facts and truth. Science is the truth, ultimate truth. It's not Bollywood, not Hollywood, Tollywood, nothing. Science is the truth.
Do you believe, sir, that there is a bias?
So let me finish this.
Yeah.
Science. So if most of the scientific documents are in English, and it's better that as a country of so many languages, we have so many languages and dialects, we just let English has worked perfectly well. Why aim to fix that's not broken? Why do you want to break it?
Yeah.
It's fine. It's all going so well. Why do you want to do this imposition? That is what I want to say. Don't impose.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't talk to anybody from a pedestal. Talk as an equal. Everyone will understand. Everyone understands the language of love.
Yeah, no, I think what you sent across in communicate is what largely everyone's been saying, that the problem isn't with Hindi or any particular language. The problem is with imposition. I also want to focus on why this is happening right now in the film industry also, because I'm sure, Mr. Srinivas, you've seen all of the politics and how the language debate isn't something new. Why has this seeped into and permeated into the film industry today? Do you believe, as someone who's worked in several of these industries, not just Bollywood, Tollywood, Collywood, etc., do you believe that there is an inherent bias where there's a belief that, Hindi films are superior to others?
No, I think Hindi films are the majority. So it's simply being watched by many, 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 many more people than the regional films. So obviously, commercially, when something, it's like this: whoever wins UP and Bihar rules India. It's like that. It's majoritarianism. But is India a majoritarianism country? It's not. No. When you look at 1947, when this beautiful country was formed, it was largely made of princely states. Kings were ruling it. And how Sardar Patel and everybody, went across and got documents signed to accede to India. Basically, India is formed like that. How many ever times we keep saying unity in diversity, the message doesn't go across. We need to keep saying that there is a beauty about this country in the diversity. Accept the guy from Tanjore of Hubli, the way he is. Don't make fun of him. Don't get angry at him. I'm talking about people like Mr. Devgn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't speak from a position of power or the majority or from a pedestal. No.
From the tweet that he put out, it was very clear that it was almost an emotional response. Obviously, also Mr. Devgn was ill-informed when he referred to Hindi as our national language. But having said that, do you think that this comes from a place that you're seeing so many of these South films, I'm talking about Pushpa, RRR, now KGF 2, doing so exceedingly well, better than your Hindi films? And that brings me to the point that Kichcha made, Mr. Srinivas, when he said that what is pan-India anymore? It's not Hindi that's pan-India, it's not a national language, it's all of these languages, that fans have gone beyond the language barrier now.
Yeah, it does. You look at the Malayalam films that have made impact. I'm talking about the film industry. You look at Rahman, he never even knew a word of Hindi, and yet Roja transcended borders. Even Mani Ratnam did not know Hindi. It doesn't know Hindi. And they made such a beautiful film. It's just that it's just the unity of India that brought us, like that film and its music. And music has no language. So the language of music is the language of love. So basically it's that, let's talk like that. I was not emotional when I put out that tweet. I just said that, he is ignorant. I'm just saying that he did not go according to the facts. He must read what is India before 1947, after 1947. He must read the Constitution, what Dr. Ambedkar has said. There's so much to do in this country, in this beautiful country.
Yeah.
Let's not destroy it.
And finally, Mr. Srinivas, your message to anyone who refers to Hindi as the supreme language of the country, who refers to it as the national language of the country. And I'm sure you've come across many people.
Hindi, some people say, like there is a song in Tamil called it is a wish that the Tamil has, but that's it's a lie that he is telling himself. Like Hindi is a beautiful language. I love the language. But it doesn't mean that it is the national language of India. How will you communicate with a farmer in Kanyakumari, or in Alapi, or in somewhere, in Mandya? If you have to communicate, you have to smile at him. then he'll be with you. He'll learn your language, you learn their language, his language also. Like मैं हिंदी बोल सकता हूँ, पढ़ सकता हूँ, लिख भी सकता हूँ. But how many can claim that? Not here. Nobody has made an attempt to learn Tamil or Malayalam. But if you come and live here, there are Sikhs who speak fluent Tamil. They've been here for generations. There are Sindhis who've settled here. They speak fluent Tamil. So it's that. It is just a necessity. Language is just a means of communication. Don't take it and beat it around like as though it is your, that emotion. You were talking about emotion. Stop the emotion around language. If it's just communication, you can through interpreters. If others, officially, if you need a linked language, that was another debate. You have interpreters. When people come here, there will be people who will translate Tamil into Hindi. If the Tamilian goes there to Delhi, obviously the Hindi will be translated into Tamil for him. That is all. And then there is English. There's so much. Just get on with the development of this country, and let's all. It's the greatest time now. COVID is over, and it's the greatest time for us to be on the planet.
Yeah.
Don't screw it up by such petty issues. That's all I was.
Mr. Srinivas, before I let you go, you teased us, and you put out a lovely message of unity. So if you could just sing one song for us, any language that you believe will actually unite the country, and I'm sure, the language really doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Yeah. So it goes like, maybe भारत हमको जान से प्यारा है तमिळा तमिळा नाळे नम नाळे. That's it.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you so much, Mr. Srinivas. And that's a message I'm sure the entire nation is listening to. Thank you very much for taking the time out and joining us here on India Today.
Thank you.